It's time for Sunday afternoon Bible story with me. I'm Chesley, and this is Karen, the voice of need. That's right, Chesley. We are glad to have our Bible story right now, and we just pray that everyone will get right in and listen to our story now. And you got to watch it too. Oh yeah, they're going to listen and they're going to watch. Chesley, it's a privilege to be here and get to talk about Jesus. You know, I tell you what, we're going to talk about in that Old Testament. Well, right, we won't be able to be before Jesus in the Old Testament, but we know he was going to be coming, and he did come. But the name of our lesson is Blessing Traded for Misery. Blessing traded for misery. Who would do something like that? You know, we're going to find out it's going to be this guy right here. That's right, Jesse. We're going to talk about the man that this happened to. You know, we have choices. We make choices, and choices make us. You know, we need to make these good choices. He didn't make a good choice. But anyway, Chelsea, right now, you know, I know right now I'm going to sing the theme song. This gospel train is chugging the trick, chugging the trick, it's chugging the trick. This gospel train is chugging the trick, chugging to the glory land. And get on board this gospel train. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, and Chelsea, we can get on board this gospel train, and it's those that love the Lord, the ones that love the Lord and want to serve Him all the time. I tell you what, He's great to live for, and you got God's Word that helps you. That's right, His Word helps us, tells us exactly what we're supposed to do. It's a joy, and it's just a thrill, a blessing to work for the Lord. I'm going to talk about blessing. We're going to talk about blessing. But Chesley, what's going to happen to those people that are on the we call it the gospel train? That's just a way of saying it, that you're going to hit going to see Jesus, yes I am, yes I am, yes I am, going to see Jesus, yes I am, yes I am, yes I am. That's right, those on the gospel train, serving the Lord, going to see Jesus, and not just for just a little bit, but all of the time, no ending. That's right, no ending, Chesley, all of the time. Okay, Chesley, our story today is taken from Genesis chapter 25, and verses 27 through 34 is what we're going to read. Now, there was these two boys that were born. Thursday, I'm going to tell you something about this. What are you going to tell me about this? We're going to talk about some trading. Oh yes, Chesley, you're right. Trading is one of the things we're going to be talking about. Did you make a trade? Oh yeah, Chesley, sometime during life, I'm sure I've made a trade. I can't think of things right now, but I'm sure that I did. Is your memory fading? No, my memory isn't fading, Chesley. It's just right now I'm just on the spot trying to think of something, and I can't. But, you know, Chesley, well, I think, Chesley, I did think of one. Yeah, I know, what was it? Was it a good one? I think it was a good one. You know, I had a friend, and she wanted to make a trade with me about globes. I love globes, you know, world globes. You have to play with him like a basketball. I don't treat him like a basketball, no, Chesley. But I had two small ones, and she said, I would like to have one of those little globes like that. And I said, okay, that'd be fine. She said, I want to trade you one. And she said, I have a large one, and it's lighted. No, man, did you do it? You got the best end of the trade. You cheated. No, I didn't cheat. No, Chesley, I didn't cheat at all. And I said, well, that's not anything compared. This small one is in no way compared to the one you're talking about. She said, but this is exactly what I need, is this little one like you have right here. Well, I already had another little one, so I didn't need two. And so she made the trade. She made the trade, and I have this beautiful globe that lights up. And I'd been wanting a globe that had a light in it. So it's so pretty. And so she got the worst end of the deal. Chesley, she didn't get the worst end of the deal. She got exactly what she needed. She got what she wanted and what she needed, and I got what I wanted. You know, so everyone's happy. The hoodie was worth the other way. And now if it had been the other way around, Chesley, that's what if we'd have been, you know, if she said, I really don't want to do this, but I will, you know, I wouldn't want to do it. But Chesley, we're going to talk about something far more important. You know, what's he going to do now? Well, Chesley, way back in the Bible days, in Genesis, then the boys said these boys grew up. They was born twins. It was a twins, and we had one, the oldest one. He was named Esau. Oh, that's a goofy name, Esau. Chesley, don't make fun of his name. He couldn't help what his name was. But anyway, his name was Esau. And as I understand, he was red-headed, so that Esau meant red. So he was a man, he liked to be out in the field. He was like a hunter. And you mean as soon as he was born? No, not as soon as he was born. But here he was the oldest one. I guess I'm getting a little ahead. And so, but here was Jacob was born, and he was a plain man, and he wanted to he dwelt in the tents. And what it turned out that, you know, Jacob, he just wanted to he wanted to cook. He liked to cook. And so Esau, he was out there in the fields, right? As a little bitty toddler. No, not as a toddler, Chesley. When he grew up, though, it turned out that these boys were very, very different. And I'm a twin, and I know this, that my twin and we're absolutely total opposites. And so what does that mean? Well, Chesley, we like totally different things. We see things different ways, and we're not alike at all. We used to look alike. We don't so much now. But Chesley, they're two different people. And people try to make you the same. Sometimes they do try to make you the same. There are people that actually think that twins think the same thing at the same time. They get sick at the same time and all those kind of things. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but a lot of people think that. But now, back to these boys. And these boys, as they begin to grow up and all of it was learned immediately that Esau was a hunter. That's what he was. And his daddy liked it. His daddy liked it. He said, this is my boy right here. And so was the other one. But if this was sad, what happened? This family, the way they looked at it, the mother said, she said, I tell you what, said Jacob is my boy. I thought that it was their boy. Both boys belonged to them. But they made a choice between them. And that is not a good thing to do. That is just a shame. It is a very big shame, and God isn't pleased with it. He said this, Esau, he's my boy. And Jacob, the mother said, Rebecca said, he's my boy. I tell you what, it's not going to work out. It wasn't going to, you're right, it wasn't going to work out very well. Well, so I tell you what, this man, Esau, he would go and he'd hunt, and he made the best venison, and it was so good. Esau, and his daddy, Isaac, just loved it. That's right, Isaac just loved it. And Rebecca then, she was just here in the house with her son was here. Here was Jacob. He liked to cook, and so probably they were cooking together, and it was just so good. And there was, what's this deal down? What's going on here? Well, Chesley, back then, and the way they had it was the oldest son was the one that was supposed to be getting. They called it a birthright, and that meant they got a double blessing. They got double of that. Like when the father died. Well, they got double what the other one got. You're going to be that oldest one. But Chesley, you know what? God didn't have to go by that. That's what they wanted. But Chesley, it actually also there was arrangements could be made in this, and in their custom, it was a legal thing to do. You could trade your birthright. No, I wouldn't want to trade it. Well, most people wouldn't. They valued that. That older son valued that. Oh my, because they were going to get double. They're going to be plant rich. Well, I don't know if their dad was rich. They might get rich, yes. But the others, they were going to get something. The younger would get something too. It's not like they were going to be left out. And this older one, by having the birthright also, he was really a high honor. And then he was like the boss man of the family. Well, I don't know if you want to call him the boss man, but it really was a good position to be in. So you want to make sure you got that one. But Chesley, it could be, you could trade it away. You could do that. And that's what we're going to talk about that happened. Oh, I tell you what, Chesley, years had gone by. These boys are grown, and Jacob Jacob I said he made some pottage, or we're going to call it what we would call like making beans. We're going to have beans and cornbread. Well, I don't know if they had beans, but they had cornbread, but they had beans. And so Esau came from the field, and I tell you what, it was smelling good in that tent. Oh my! And he said, "Give me something to eat." That's exactly what he was saying. Here came Esau out of the field, and he was exhausted. He just thought he couldn't even survive hardly. I'm so hungry. Feed me, feed me. That's what he was saying. Feed me. Please feed me. Feed me, I pray thee, with some of that red pottage you're making there. He said red beans. Well, it was maybe something like red beans. He said, I've just got to have something. I've just got to have something. Jacob said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you some if you will sell me your birthright. No! What? Sell me birthright? He said, I ain't going to do it. Oh, Chesley, he did not say that. He said, I'm starving. He wasn't starving. He thought he would, and so he's just going to give it. Well, Chesley, this was a very serious decision, and he was thinking about how hungry he was, and he was thinking that he was dying. And Jacob said, well, swear to me this day. Said, you promise me, and you seal the deal, make it legal. That's what he was saying. You make it legal. that you're actually going to transfer that to me. And you know what Esau said? As Esau said that, he began to think, what good is this thing to me? And he said, I am at the point of death. What profit is this birthright to me? And Jacob said, will you swear to me? And he swore to him, and he sold him the birthright for that bowl of beans. Oh, no. And now then he doesn't have the double thing. He doesn't have the double thing, the double blessing. Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage. Jacob said, all right, here, eat. Here's everything that you want. I mean, he was so happy because he had stolen it. He didn't steal it. No, he didn't, Chesley. But I want to tell you the rest of the story. God had already said, he had already said from the beginning, he had told the mother, he said, the older is going to serve the younger. What does that mean? Well, then he is the man that is going to actually get the birthright. And so God didn't pay any attention to their, whatever that thing is that they had, their rules. He didn't pay any attention. That wasn't that he paid no attention, but it was that in this case, you had a man like Esau that was just, I mean, he was a rebel. He was a rebel, like he didn't appreciate. He didn't want the blessing that he could have gotten. And he was supposed to lead the family. He was supposed to lead the family, really be the family, their worship leader, really. You know, but now Jacob, I think he was a cheater. Well, you know, Jacob, you could call him a cheater too, and he took advantage of his brother. That wasn't good. I think there's open this. They need to get someone else. Well, Chesley, you know, this is what the Lord had to work with, was these two fellows. The thing was, before it was all over with, Jacob wanted the blessing of the Lord. You know, he wanted to serve the Lord. And he finally did. He finally did become a good guy. When he surrendered to the Lord, he was surrendered to God. He wanted that blessing, and he finally did the right thing. You know what? I think it says that we're all in this. You know, Chesley, all of us are many times a mess. We do the wrong things. But say you're sorry. You not just say you're sorry, but be sorry and change how we live. But you know, Chesley, this was quite a thing. When Esau, he despised his birthright. That's what he actually had. No, it didn't value it. He said he just traded away that great blessing. Oh, the time came though when finally, when the dad knew that thought he was close to dying, is then he was going to give that blessing out. Oh my! And you know what's going to happen? Well, what happened was that here went Jacob in, and he got the blessing. And how did it work out? Well, his dad didn't know that it wasn't Esau, because Jacob lied. Jacob lied. And he didn't die with it. Well, Chesley, this is who God wanted, but it wasn't supposed to be done like this. But anyway, Jacob lived with this agony of what he had done, the misery of what he had done. Yes, he had gotten the birthright, but now he's lying to his dad. I don't think that's there. Well, Chesley, it's not right, but you know what? That he lied. He shouldn't have done it. But this was who God wanted. This was the man that would be, this is who God wanted. It wasn't right, all that they did. But now Esau, he had traded it away. He really had. And so this was a bad situation, Lord Chesley. And this is what we have to think of sometime. We can do something, we think it's not any big deal, and it winds up being a whole big problem. Not just for us, but for other people. So what can we learn from this, Chesley? Is do exactly what the Lord wants us to do. And if we do wrong, we need to confess that. You know what happened? Now, as Esau realized what he had done, well, he was mad at his brother. Well, so the two brothers parted. They left. But before it was all said and done, as the years went by, you know what, Chesley? What happened? Well, he traded away his blessing for misery, a life of misery. But God somehow rewarded this man. As before it was all over with, he became friends with Jacob. Jacob and Esau became good friends. And they were blessed. Oh, that he traded away what could have been a great blessing. And in fact, it was just misery. It was just misery there for years and years and years. Chesley, what we try to do when God has a way of doing things and we get it and we get it all tangled up, we wind up creating problems for ourselves and you're the one else. I tell you what, I don't like this story. you don't like this story. Chesley, there's things in life we don't like, but when it happens, we have to what? Deal with it. We have to deal with it and live with mistakes that we have made. Chesley, that's everything. I'm talking about even moms and dads, adults and kids have to deal with things like this. But let's remember this. We should all do the right thing. And if we do the right thing, then we won't be in misery. Then we won't be living in misery. So let us remember this, Chesley, and not trade away the good blessings of the Lord for doing things our way. That's what gets us in trouble. Chesley, we want to love the Lord and serve Him with all of our heart, all of our life. That's what we want that's what we want to do. And you know what? We're nice to be around. We're nice to be around people that love the Lord and they want to reach out and encourage and bless others. That's what we want to do. And appreciate the blessing of the Lord. Love the blessings of the Lord. And right now you have to go to bed. I don't think that's a blessing. It may not be a blessing, but yet, we've got other things we need to do, so we got to put you to bed. I'm kind of scared. What do you mean you're kind of scared? Well, I smelled a skunk. No, you didn't smell a skunk. There you go, come up with excuses. Tell everybody goodbye, and you can see everybody next Sunday afternoon, the Lord willing. I'll see you next Sunday afternoon, and I'm going to have a happy story. You want a happy story, all right? We're going to go for a happy Bible story next time, but sometimes we have to deal with these situations that we don't like. Just we need to face them. They happen in our life. And maybe sometime we didn't do wrong, somebody else does. Maybe it's a family member or somebody we have to deal with, and it's just things we have, we can't make it go away. Not everything's going to be easy all the time. I just wish you could. Can we just change it? Chesley, we can't just change it. No, we have to just keep on living for the Lord ourselves, and God's going to bless us. And one day you get to go to heaven. One day we get to go to heaven and stay. We get to stay there with Jesus forever and ever and ever. Right now you've got to go. You're just kind of, stalling. So we'll see you next Sunday afternoon, the Lord willing. We love you. We love you. I'll see you next week. Wish you wouldn't have to go to bed, but I don't have the choice.